Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Fab's in the house and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm in the house with the CRKT fossil here with me for a review, and we're gonna analyze the look, the sound, and the feel of this bad boy. But first of all, let me say a big thank you to my buddy Branding for sending this guy along so I'm able to share my impressions with you. And second of all, don't forget to like this video. Maybe consider to subscribe to the channel if you feel so. So let's check the size of this bad boy, because that's a full-size knife, guys. Look at that, 4-inch, I would say, blade length, but the cutting edge is going to be 3.75. Overall length of this guy is going to be close to 9 inches, which in centimeters that translates into 22.5. And cutting edge is going to be 9.5 with the handle length of 12.5, which is roughly like 5, a little bit less than 5 inches. So it is not a small knife, and let's in fact check it out up against a couple of the usual suspects. Here you've got Ontario Rat number 2, and here you've got Ontario Rat number 1, and you can see that's a big boy, guys. It's bigger than the Ontario Rat number 1, and let's check out, for example, a couple of Benchmades. I've got them where here. That's the mini bug out right there, and that is the Benchmade bug out. Look at that. You can see, yeah, it's definitely a full-size knife for sure. Spyderco Para 3, it's right there, and then Spyderco Paramilitary 2, maybe like that. You can see better. It's still smaller than that, so yeah, it's that's very interesting. So let's quickly check another couple options here. I've got what I've got, yeah, Chris Reeve knives, small Sebenza 21, and that's the large Sebenza 21, so you can see exactly where this guy is standing. And yeah, I mean, Sebenza is not like a small knife, but this guy, yeah, it's it's kind of bigger. Look at that. That's the Snaffle from Custom Knife Factory, which is pretty much the same size. So Snaffle is a big knife. This is Koenig knife Arius. So you can see that the Arius is also smaller than that. Let me take Shiro, maybe. This guy here, Icebreaker. It's, yeah, no, it's still like smaller than that. So, very interesting. What else can I show you? One last, and I can show you this couple here, a couple of budget knives. Here I've got the, that's the QSP, that's the Penguin, and CJRB Feldspar. Very cool budget options over here. And since we are talking about budget options, why not? That's the Civivi Brazen, just a fantastic budget one. And another fantastic budget one is the Kubi Carb. Look at that right in the house. I'm showing you these budget knives under $100 because this guy is a budget knife and it's $100. And it's just, I just wanted to review mainly because the action is so good. I mean, aesthetically, this knife, it's probably not for me because there's, I mean, too much going on for my taste, but I can appreciate something exquisite like the action on this knife and the grip on this knife. So those two things are gonna be fantastic. We're gonna chat about those in a second, but first of all, this is the CRKT fossil Icoma designed, as you can see right over here. This is a CRKT knife. It's $100, maybe $95, under $100. It's made in China. The overall look when closed, it's unique, I have to say, because of all these curves, all these lines. There's a lot going on, guys, here. It's a stainless steel frame lock. As you can see, these are mainly like overlays, like not even, yeah, they're like not really scales. That's why I'm not calling this like a liner lock. It's mostly like a frame lock, and you've got these these overlays or scales, call them as you prefer, that are made of micarta, and it's interesting like how it's done. It looked like G10 at the beginning, but I've been told this is micarta, so very interesting. like the finish is really interesting. It shows the structure on the inside because of this topographic milling going on. It's very unique. And then you've got underneath you got a set of scales which are stainless steel and hammered with this hammer tone finish, like as you can see all over the place, and they are pretty much creating some continuation of this topographic finish on the scales, let's say, to the actual overlay. So very interesting. Then you've got some nice chamfer going on around the scales, the actual scales, with some jimping pretty much everywhere. You got jimping on the blade, jimping on the heel, on the flipper tab, and on the back of the heel right over there. There is no internal skeletonization. I mean, you've got these 5 holes, which I probably don't count them as skeletonization because the thickness of the slabs is full, is intact. There's no material being removed. And then you can see that you've got a pretty nice finger groove and a second elongated one. So this guy is gonna accommodate one, and here you can stick like 2 fingers like so. And actually I have to say, yeah, it feels pretty comfy in the hand. Then you have basically no lanyard hole option. Yeah, you got the blade, which is a little bit off center. It's not a biggie, maybe it needs just it's a little bit loose, the pivot, so don't pay too much attention to that. Actually, let me fix this, or let me try and fix this. Let's take no, that's gonna be a T8 for the pivot, or is it a T9? Let's see. No, it's a T8. Yeah, let's just do, no, where is it, guys? Oh, of course, T8 is in the place of the T6 as usual, and here you go. So, oh yeah, the pivot was definitely loose. Let me see. Tune up, live tune up. So yeah, blade, no, blade is not like fully centered, but the action, guys, I'm telling you, it's where it has to be. The blade, yeah, you see, it's a tad favoring the show side, but it's safely recessed, so there's no way you're gonna be able to touch this, so that's still good. Centering, now the blade play is gone. The action is not as good, and the blade is, yeah, not super centered, but I mean, it's all right. Here you've got a flipper tab with some jimping, which is gonna ensure a pretty reliable deployment of the blade, so you're gonna be pretty much good to go. And then you've got a very simple construction. Basically, you've got like 3 screws over here passing through the backspacer, and one pivot to take care of, and you're gonna have T8 and T6 for those, and you're gonna be done pretty much. You can also check my maintenance video if you're curious to see how this guy needs to be maintained, disassembled, and taken care of. The pivot, I think it's not captive. I don't remember, to be honest. Just check the video. That's gonna be telling the truth for sure. And then of course, I was saying you have a nice backspacer. This is G10. There's no continuity with the jimping over here. You see, it's like indented, so that's strange to me. It feels like it's misaligned, but it's not. I mean, it's a design choice, clearly. As you can see, it starts and ends from these grooves, but I would have preferred probably like just some continuity here, and like you know, like you would see, for example, in I don't have anything here, but anyways, you know what I mean. Also, you got no stainless steel lock face insert because the frame is stainless steel, so there's probably not gonna be any need for that because no lock stick is gonna happen from steel to steel, but you never know. And then you've got some, I would say, integrated overextension for the lock bar created by this overlay, so you're not going to be able to overextend the lock bar in that direction, which is pretty good. And then you also have, tip-up carry only stainless steel pocket clip, which has a nice retention, not too strong, and has a construction made out of these two pillars and two screws externally mounted for this one, logo on the clip, and you also have a hole to drill drilled out through the clip to access, I don't know how, you need like a very tiny you see, like to remove that screw probably, but you want to remove probably the clip beforehand, so I'm not sure what that hole stands for, but it's there. So tip-up carry only, not reversible. You cannot mount it tip down, so it's just gonna stay there. Don't worry about that. And then you've got this blade, guys, which is pretty complex. You've got some nice jimping, very with some good bite and absolutely functional. And then you start, which is sitting on a kind of like a short thumb ramp, and then you've got a divot over here which you can use, like you can take advantage of if you want to do a little bit more advanced grip. And there's no chamfering going on over here nor here. Here you have a swedge starting from this point where you see the divot changes the inclination, and then you have like a swedge, I was saying, and then reaches to the point where you just kind of like starts like with a pretty much like a straight edge, and then changes into a belly right over here, and then back into a recurve up to the sharpening choil. So all this primary bevel is hollow grind, and you can see the belt grind lines, which are vertical and are horizontals here in the flat, and go back to vertical on the swedge. You don't really have a finger choil. Mostly this guy is like a sharpening choil, and it's a very good one. In fact, you can see the plunge grind starting from this point, which is pretty much good to go. No chamfers for the flipper tab, just the jimping right there, and also no jimping for the area to disengage the lock bar, but is overextended, you see, from the show side scale, so you can still access that, no issues whatsoever. And this guy just contributes to creates like and extend the finger guard for your grip like that. It's pretty good. You've got CRKT logo in the primary bevel over here, and Icoma design and fossil for the model, and the logo for the bearings like on this side, and the serial number right over there. The steel is 8CR13 MOV, and I mean, for a budget knife, it's pretty much what you want to expect. Also, the sound, it's interesting. I mean, it's not like crazy, unique, superb, but it's this. So it's subdued, it's not loud, not resounding, not piercing. It's just a nice clack and click when you close it, clack and click. I mean, not too shabby. The fact that this is a stainless steel frame lock, and the fact that there's no internal skeletonization is going to reflect in the weight, because it's close to 6 ounces, 5.89. So just keep that in mind. And also keep in mind that this guy has also just a very minimal hot spot here, but beside that, it feels just great in the hand. Great finger grooves, pretty cool grip. The lock bar, it's relatively easy to disengage. I'm not complaining here. It's just a little bit slippery. The area is not too big, but still, it's pretty good. You can also do a nice choke up grip, because it feels good, so you can actually do it. Feels absolutely solid in the hand. It's a beast. It's heavy. Nice backspacer contributes to the rigidity of the structure, and the fit and finish is not stellar. I see, like you see, the backspacer here is protruding. It's not flush. You've got I mean, the clip, it's a little bit of a low tension. The blade is not centered. I mean, it needs to be probably tightened a little bit more. Yeah, probably didn't lock tight the guy. So Yeah, you see, it's not like perfect, but I mean, this is a budget knife. It's gonna be like 90 bucks new. So imagine like you buy this second hand, you can snag this for like maybe 60 bucks, $50 if it's used and needs some sharpening. So I mean, it's yeah, it's a pretty good user. There's no rattling when shaken. You have basically no finger soreness if you, as long as you do like a light switch operation, it's fine. You do push button, it's gonna, yeah, you're gonna feel it a little bit more because it's a tiny, it's not pointy, but there's no chamfering, so you're gonna feel that. So jimping is there. Just take advantage, do your light switch, and you're gonna be pretty much good to go. And then you've got some bearings running around the pivot and contributing to create this pretty cool action. I have to say, this is I mean, the action and the ergos on this guy are just phenomenal, because action really cool. You see the blade just wants to drop shot and has some nice and gliding shot action. Really cool for a budget knife. Just a little bit of detent suction, not too much. There is no detent ball ramp over here, and I mean, overall, it's not a knife for everyone because of the pretty unique look, but I mean, the action is absolutely on point. The weight is a little bit over there because we're closer to 6 ounces, but the sound also is it's decent. I mean, nothing too special, but I mean, ergos and actions are the highlights on this one for me. So there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. Stay tuned.